What's going to happen now with Donald J. Trump returning to the White House as president? Do you think Joe Biden wanted Kamala to lose?
I think she wanted to be the first woman president, and now it's not going to go to Kamala. So, yes, calling him a Nazi and all these things, Trump supporters are garbage. I don't think he was really behind Kamala. Let's face it, that he was booted out.
I 100% believe Joe Biden did not want her to win. The guy's not bright. He's lost his marbles. I really believe he did not want her to win, and he got his wish, and thank God.
I think he hates Trump, but I also think he hates Kamala.
I believe they've been radicalized.
Yeah.
Hey, we thought we'd try taping our podcast in a new location this week. The United States of America. It's back, baby. USA is back. Tom Zetter of Tom Zetter Scandal, co-host 1 Degree of Scandalous.
Saluting you, baby.
With this guy.
And pounding it, fist pounding.
The one and only Cato Kalin. Yeah, we've entered a different universe. It just feels like America. I mean, it's like 1,000 pounds lifted off your shoulders.
You said it right. 4 years. For me, the last 4 years, bad sleep, bad habits, everything was bad. It all back in November 5th after that night, it just all ended, and it's just been such a positive feeling. I think it's positive for a lot of, well, obviously not a lot of people, but majority of Americans have that great feeling, and it's just, and I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think things are going to be much better.
We're going to get into a lot of really interesting topics on this episode about what happens next with Donald J. Trump returning to the White House. President number 47, 45 and 47. Pretty impressive. Okay, we're going to dive. I'm going to ask you a question that I've been thinking about a lot. Even before the election, I was thinking of this, and I am interested in your opinion, and I'll give you mine. Do you think Joe Biden wanted Kamala to lose?
You know, I've got a feeling when I saw the photo a while back of Jill Biden dressed in red when she was going out to vote, I think that's a subtle hint. I think the other person breathing a sigh of relief is Hillary Clinton. I think she wanted to be the first woman president, and now it's not going to go to Kamala. So, yes, I think, I don't know, calling him a Nazi and all these things, Trump supporters are garbage. All I know is I don't think he was really behind Kamala. Let's face it, that he was booted out.
Go a little bit deeper on this, and I 100% believe Joe Biden did not want her to win. And that garbage comment that started the weekend before the election or a few days before the election. I mean, the guy's not bright, he's lost his marbles, right? He's senile, but he's not dead yet. There's no way. He was forced to take her as vice president, essentially. Yeah. So, I really believe he did not want her to win, and he got his wish, and thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, but I think the comment he made, you're right. I think it's a comment that he actually feels that way. I think he hates Trump. But I also think he hates Kamala.
I don't think he hates Trump. I think he's like a lot of people that used to like him. Now he's been programmed to hate Trump and read the teleprompter, and he's been radicalized just like all those other nut jobs. Yeah. Seriously, I believe they've been radicalized.
Yeah, I think he hates him. I do. I think he hates him, but I think he has to be nice now because Biden said he's not going to pardon Hunter Biden. And what's Trump going to do? What people are putting on X right now? What will Trump do with Hunter Biden? Yeah. But I still think Joe Biden is going to, he gets to pardon people. He'll pardon his son. I think that won't be an issue.
He's not going to hate Trump after that. If Trump pardons Hunter Biden.
No, not Trump. But Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his son, but I think he's lying. I think he is going to pardon his son at the end of it. When he had the people that he gets to pardon. I don't know what the number of people he can pardon. I forget. But he's going to pardon his son.
I think he's got a handshake deal with Trump that if he doesn't pardon, I believe Trump would do it. I believe he would pardon. And maybe there's going to be some maneuverings here, in the days before he's inaugurated where they work together on a couple things. But yeah, I believe Biden hates Trump. One of the craziest things I thought was how we all know the dirty tricks that they were playing, right? Everybody does. And they lump them all together. They tried to prosecute him. They tried to embarrass him. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to assassinate him twice. Here's the thing. They speak about the double assassination attempt as sort of like they slashed his tires on Air Trump. They TP'd his lawn. They tried to kill him. I think if it's me as president and I'm going in there and somebody tried to kill me, I think that is on top of all the bigger issues that he's going to take care of right away with the border and green energy and start drilling for oil like he should. He's got to want to know the real story because there's so much more to it. Don't I mean it's almost cavalier how they talk about almost killing him.
Right, and then they say they want unity. I say screw the unity right now. I think Trump has to go after these people and put them in jail. I think he's got to. He's already, going to be the 51 intel officers that said the laptop was fake, all fired. They have security clearances still. Get rid of that. I think he just has to go everybody because he's got to rule with an iron fist, and he's going to do that. Now, am I against him to bring the country together? No, but people that trying to kill the president, you got to figure that out. If it was part of the FBI, CIA, whoever it is, get rid, clean house, and I think this is his turn to drain the swamp. He admitted when he was president the first term that he wasn't as good. He got people that were in it that were backstabbers. Now he knows he can't hire those people, and he's got to be careful because he's got the most incredible team. It's the golden age. It will be the golden age for many, many, many years to come.
Yeah, so many things that we're going to talk about here, but real quickly, I think he's got to be careful about just this act of vengeance. But here's the thing. They broke the law in a lot of cases. It's not going to be difficult to do it. You just, and that's why they were trying to get ahead of it and call him a fascist and a dictator, because they knew what would be coming if he won, even though they did not think he could beat them. Yeah. They listened to their pollsters who were all full of shit. I mean, have you ever seen anybody worse at their job than pollsters? I mean, it's just like the bottom line with the celebrities, with the pollsters, with the traditional media, with news anchors, on cable news, they literally think we're stupid. They think we are dumb.
They wanted it closer because they wanted to get the ratings and have people watching their news for their side of the pollsters. But it came out that we now know that the poly market is where it's at. The betting market for presidency is the real new poll. It's already proven. I heard Elon Musk was at a party at Mar-a-Lago, and he left the party early, and he told this to, I think it was RFK. They said, "Where are you going?" He goes, "It's over. Trump won." Hours before, he didn't say where. He just looked at his phone. He knew it, and I believe it's because of the poly markets. He knew it was over, and he left.
Yeah, no, it's staggering to think how things have flipped here, and you feel like hopeful. You feel like tension has been released. You feel like the thing that bothered so many people, me, you, anybody that has worked hard in their life, that have achieved anything, that has a family, all you want is to have the government, have these people stay out of your lives, and all they want to do is control it, and that's why you hearken back to days when it was better with Reagan as president in the 80s, even the 90s when Bill Clinton was president, it was better. Now, granted, there wasn't the technology that we have or whatnot, but you just had a sense that this country's great. Other countries feared us. They respected us. You could accomplish what you want without somebody getting in the way or shutting down the country. Right. It's a totally different feel. I live in a very, very liberal part of Los Angeles. A lot of mopes, a lot of people moping around a few days after the election. I'm going, get a life. You guys, wake up. Why don't you just look at the real issues and realize how your life is going to be better for this?
Yes. You brought that up of what it was like, even Reagan or even Clinton. The last 4 years, I'm telling you, I think it was a depressing state. And my opinion, everything changed when Musk bought Twitter, because back when Jack Dorsey had it, that's when this cancel culture was there. What's the last? You haven't heard about the cancel culture. It ended cancel culture because people saw the real stories. It's the number one news is Twitter. Everything, because of Musk buying that, we found the truth out, and it ended the woke culture. It ended the cancel culture because we had the community notes that Musk put up. It's brilliant. Everything because of Twitter being bought by Musk, calling it X, is changed everything. People saw the real stories.
Who are the MVPs? Literally a handful of people made such a difference that if they weren't on Earth, I don't think we would have got the result we did. I'm going to give you my list of MVPs, not really in any order, but I put Laura Trump. Is she a badass? She is unbelievable. Eric Trump's wife. You talk about a powerhouse.
So, and because of that, Laura Trump is because they got rid of Ronna McDaniel.
Yeah, of course.
That is the reason. And then you got family involved. Yeah. Family, that's the Godfather.
And she didn't even want to take the job, right? She did not want it. But once she was in, she was all in. The fact that they had 500 lawyers in each of the swing states and warning people beforehand about no nonsense and no shenanigans. People were, they were going to prosecute people, if there was some crazy stuff going down. So I think she was so key. I think Barron Trump, the fact that he talked his dad into going on these podcasts, it just made a difference while she's running around. I mean, literally, what she was doing the final week of the campaign is almost comical. But Barron Trump, man, he likes to stay under the radar, but very influential. And one of my MVPs, Charlie Kirk. I think he's an MVP. I mean, with his campus tours that he did to get college students to sign up to register for vote and then just spout a powerful, optimistic message.
I'll comment because
game-changing.
My MVPs are pretty much in line with your MVP. But Charlie Kirk, I don't know if you know this, Charlie Kirk is probably one of the main reasons of going to college campuses of how many people they at the University of Wisconsin, which is very liberal, how many people they look. Because I watched the election. Charlie Kirk with Jack Posobiec. So, and these other guys, Tyler Bauer, all tied in better than any network. They know the whole vibe of the country. Now, I bring that up because they were at campuses where they would see the tent for Kamala Harris and they'd go, wow, there's only like 4 or 5 people there. He had 5,000, the very least, 5,000 with him. He said he ran out of 5,000 hats within day one. I'm telling you, that makes it, that feeling of we've got something special here.
Yeah, J.D. Vance, another one too. I mean, when Trump decided to put him on, unbelievable. And then with her picking Tim Walz, I'm so embarrassed that he's from Minnesota. I was telling my brothers in the text, take this pathetic loser back. You could have him. What a clown show. Right. And then when you watch the highlight reels of this guy, because you don't really want to pay attention to him because you're not following, his rallies or whatever he's doing, but the dude is strange.
Right.
I mean, the way he would wave, clap. I mean, he's not really that powerful, strong, male. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but he's a trip. He's something else.
My MVPs in pictures is the assassination in the picture with the fight. Just the picture with the blood running down. That's my MVP. He has a mugshot. Other MVP is Elon Musk jumping up at a rally in midair of saying awesome. So my MVP is sort of in pictures. And there's another one of Trump. We've got the assassination. We've got the mugshot. We have him riding in a garbage truck. That's MVP. We've got him giving French fries away. Those are iconic photos that all you need to do is look at him and you go, I like this guy. I'm going to vote for this guy. And everybody relates to it. While she's getting celebrities and paying them. By the way, first time ever a campaign spent $1 billion. They left $20 million in the hole. She had to pay the celebrities to be there. Worst thing she could. How do you have a celebrity there reading off an iPhone with a Cardi B? Is that passionate? iPhone, you're reading it. If you have passion, you have someone like Elon Musk in Pennsylvania every day giving $1 million away. Not for people to vote for Trump, just for people to sign a petition to support the First and Second Amendment. You've got these people that are not. There's no teleprompter. They're talking from their heart. Tom, passion wins over everything. When you're passionate about something, you're going to get it.
And you're authentic, right? And
100% authentic.
The only thing that they can think about, talk about, and are obsessed with is just how much they hate Trump and how bad of a person he is. And then they want to just share that hatred with you and spew it to you and try to brainwash you. That's what they were trying to do.
Right. And he got the male vote. He got the African American male vote. He got the Latino vote, Latino and Latino vote. He had Tony Hinchcliffe, who said something about the garbage at Puerto Rico, the island. He got an endorsement from Puerto Rico. So it's like,
well, even in California,
people know, they get it. They know what humor is, what joke is, but this is nothing like it. It was Stevie Nicks singing Landslide.
First time a liberal Democrat did not get 60% of the vote in California too. So the tide's turning here a little bit. I mean, at least we came to our senses and
5
got
points,
Garcon out.
New Jersey, New York. It's amazing.
I know. I mean, we won on all levels that day. I mean, and I was so concerned about LA and our crime and what George Gascon, what he's done to this city in 4 years intentionally. And the fact that he's gone and his replacement is a stud. I watched him on KTLA. I saw him on Channel 7. Man, he's all business. And how can you argue with anything he says? And that's why he was so smart to run as an independent, right? So he couldn't make it a political issue because, of course, people are just going to check the box on any Democrat on a ballot.
It's going to save LA. LA is good. I think LA is going to completely change. And Charlie Kirk's the reason that Arizona is going to become red and safer. Now you worked in Arizona.
I lived there for 13 years.
You know the whole vibe of Phoenix and that. They're still counting, and a week later, I mean, it may be 2025. They're still counting. It doesn't make sense. So, I really think this Kari Lake will. I don't know which way it's going to go.
I know Kari Lake.
City,
okay, she was. We worked. We were news anchors together. Yeah. So and Kari's amazing. It was the last thing I would ever expected her to do. Right. It was completely shocking when she went into politics. There's probably no local politician more attached to the hip to President Trump than her.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, it is embarrassing for the state of Arizona, especially when you had the circus that was 2020 for them. You'd think that you'd get your act together. It's just an embarrassment for them. It really is.
Yeah.
And it just shows you that they're up to something. I mean, that's not a conspiracy
100%.
theory. I mean, what else could be the reason for taking so long? They're trying to find extra ballots.
Right. I 100% agree with you. And, I follow certain people on X, and they're just saying how much hate they have for Kari Lake on the Democrat side from what I'm seeing and I'm hearing, that they want her out in the worst way. So, yeah, they're gonna cheat and get the ballots. But while this show goes on, we may not have an answer. We might.
Yeah, well, okay, so look, it's not going to be the worst thing for her, because if she doesn't, we've already controlled the Senate. The Republicans control the Senate. So if she doesn't win that Senate seat, she's going to be probably in Washington doing something. Right? She's a loyal soldier. Yeah. He'll have her involved somehow. Yeah. When we were talking about the assassination, did you ever hear? It almost become just normal to talk about they tried to kill him. Right? They tried to kill him. Did you ever hear any Democrat ever say that's not true or deny it?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's insane. How can you say that? I never heard that once. It's almost like accepted common knowledge that they were behind both assassination attempts, but the one that almost killed him.
Right. I think that's why I
That's
can't
scary.
wait till January 20th when the first day. I think the first day that he's going to go in there, I think he's going to obviously he'll deport criminals. I think the smartest move he did is anybody that's in the cartel is now a terrorist. They'll be treated as a terrorist, and that means he can have the army and anybody shoot.
Yeah. I love what he said, too. He was going to have a strong conversation with the president of Mexico right away.
Yeah.
Get your act together. It's a 25% tariff, and it'll go up 50, 75. It's just the whole collective mood of the world is different. World leaders around the country aren't talking as tough. They know it's important to get along with him because he's not playing around.
November 6th, he'd already talked to 70 world leaders. I'm telling you, the guy is indefatigable. He's got the energy. He's a go-getter. He's just a winner, and he's doing it for the country. He loves the country. He's going to make it the best. And he's already made calls to Zelensky, Putin. Already the EU wants to buy oil from America, and everybody's kind of going. Everybody right now is sort of like, he's got fear Trump. And they want to, they know this guy gets stuff done. It's so exciting.
How scared are people that have stuff to hide in Washington, D.C.? Congress people, Nancy Pelosi, who knows, right? I mean, the reaction has been interesting because, of course, they were sore losers right away and whining and probably shocked. But man, are they up to something? Like they got some trick up their sleeve before he gets inaugurated? Or are they... How real is the fact that there's going to be Judgment Day for a lot of these people and it's not going to be pretty? And when we find out what really has been happening behind the scenes, I know you follow this closely.
Yeah.
Like, can you give me any sort of example or what we could expect, or how bad have you read that it is?
It depends on what Trump wants to do. It's like he's a very dear friend of Steve Bannon. I don't know if you know Steve Bannon.
Of course.
Steve Bannon, War Room. Steve Bannon, he's Irish. He said, Irish, don't forget and don't forgive. And he goes, maybe Trump can do that. He goes, but I can't. He wants to, Bannon saying, go after everybody.
Well, he just came out of prison, so he's extremely motivated and pissed.
Peter Navarro out of prison. I really think the people that are closest to Trump are going to tell him to prosecute certain people. I think you are right. I think there's people on an Epstein list. I think people are on a Diddy list. So I fear for Trump. I want Trump to have the best security. Trump right now at Mar-a-Lago has hired I don't know if you saw, he's got robotic dogs. The robotic dogs everywhere, which they don't tell them what the dogs can do. If they have capabilities of shooting or whatever.
Well, I hope
cameras,
so. I mean, what's the point of having it?
But he's got that. He's going to have the top because I think Trump has to fear.
Well, of course he does.
Because before this, I mean, more than ever. I think they want to get rid of him because they know he's going to release certain things.
Well, here's the problem for that plan. JD Vance would do the same thing. And then you'd have another 4 years of JD Vance too.
Yeah.
So, but man, that is the one thing that I'm most fearful for. I mean, his life is going to be in danger every single day.
Yeah.
And you already know that there's certain elements of the Secret Service you can't trust. I mean, that's been Exhibit A this past summer. Could there be somebody that infiltrates it? Could there be? Oh, I mean, come on. I mean, the
that's
potential.
why he's got to be so careful of who's closest to him. You know, always keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It's. I think he's just got to make the right choices. I think he's got the right team to make the right choices with him. And day one, you know, Trump in this first term, he was promises made, promises kept, and he did. I think he'll have promises made, promises kept even bigger. And I think the whole thing would dream big. I think the economy's going to go up. I think everything's just going to get better. And you can feel it. You can just, well, at least I can feel it because I'm gung-ho in this thing. I am, I had certain people that just got rid of me as friends. And you should see my Instagram, my X feed of people just saying cruel things. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, but that just reveals their character. You don't need them in your life. Don't even read the comments unless they're good. Yeah, it's just like the economy is just going to do a 180. No more wokeism. I mean, DEI, he's going to get rid of. It's just common sense.
Right.
You know, we've been force-fed this for so long, starting with COVID or a little bit before that. It's a weapon for them. And you know, and it worked. It kind of worked.
What do you think about Fauci then? Do you think prosecute him?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I would imagine if you listen to Robert Kennedy and his unveiled threats, he's coming for him 100%. I mean, he wrote a book on it.
Rand Paul's coming for him.
I mean, these guys, they know what he did. They know what the real story is. And there's accountability for that.
I want to see all the leaks. I want to see everything, what they have on all this stuff that they've been hiding for 4 years. I think Trump is going to bring it all out. And we're going to see how corrupt this last 4 years has been, how unbelievably corrupt. Now, Trump and Matt Gaetz made it. Did you see this where they made a statement? They've got the biggest secret that they're going to release after the election. Now, I don't know when that's going to be released, if it's January or if it's going to be coming up soon. But I don't know if you know this, but it's supposed to be huge news. Now, he hinted a few times at some of his rallies. And I've been looking for this on Twitter.
Well, it's a secret. X. No, they haven't announced it yet, right? So,
but he did. I think they're waiting for the House and the Senate, whatever that's going on.
Interesting. By the way, did you know that Matt Gaetz is Shonda's second cousin?
No.
Yeah, second cousin.
I think he's.
You need a tour of the house?
He's on the team.
When you go to DC, yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, Gaetz, lives DC. He lives in Florida too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Congressman
great.
from Florida. No, it's pretty funny.
Can you get him on the show?
I think we could. I think we'll work on Matt Gaetz for sure. Hey, Cato, along those lines with this, some of the secrets that are going to be revealed pretty soon. Patrick McDavid on his podcast the other day brought up a really interesting topic. He said somebody reached out to him on Minect and asked and basically said that there's going to be a rash of suicides in DC. Bureaucrats, maybe more prominent people that. Wow. There is some stuff out there that's going to be so shocking where maybe these people's families find out or the public finds out what they've been really up to. He really believes that there's going to be like a lot of people taking their own life to avoid what could be coming down the pike.
Sounds like Van Halen's Jump song is going to hit record sales.
Yeah.
But actually, not making fun of the suicide, but I could see that happening. I wonder if Patrick also meant the people that have you seen the people that have breakdowns because Trump won?
Of course.
Do you see some of the comments of how they want to hire hitmen to kill him? I mean, this is stuff that they can get in prison for.
Of course you can.
This is gone. I mean, there's hundreds of them of people going that they're going to kill themselves. If they don't, they're going to try to get someone how to kill the orange man. This is insane. Why do you put that out there publicly? Because if the FBI even does anything, but
because they're sitting in their home or in their basement, they don't think anything can happen. But those are serious actions that are not going to be, they're not going to be ignored going forward. There's going to be law and order. I love this sheriff in Florida. I don't know if he's in Fort Lauderdale or whatnot, but he said any kids that make threats, have guns, threaten to shoot up schools, I'm going to perp walk them. They're going to be shackled. I mean, I'm going to embarrass them. He was warning the parents. He says, since you can't raise your kids, I will.
Oh, that's great.
And there was a great video of him doing this to an 11-year-old kid who had this whole collection of weapons. You wouldn't believe it. And then he had a hit list or a kill list. They took him down 11 years old, but good. You know? I mean, it's turned into just where you can't even make up. Like 20 years from now, things are continuing to be normal, like hopefully we're going to look back at this time and go, how did this happen? How were you able to shut down the whole country? How could you fake this, this disease or whatever we learn about it? How is it okay to pay for transsexual surgery for prisoners in prison? How is it okay to not get your permission from your parents if, you can't, your parents don't have to know if you're a young kid thinking that you want to transition. It's
right.
insanity.
It's done though. Trump's got it's done. That's going to be all over with completely. The Patrick David's point, I think that's something you really like. First of all, anybody that's involved in anything, if like you said, the Epstein list or the P. Diddy thing, if something you're talking about that with suicide, if some news comes out, you're saying
I'm talking about.
I mean, that's a possibility too, right?
Well, sure.
Of having their life. But I think they're so narcissistic and so huge ego that they can beat something like that.
I don't know. We'll find out hopefully soon. I mean, his trial starts next year. You'd think that pretty soon some stuff will start leaking, names and whatnot. Man, it's going to be fireworks, that's for sure. You look at a guy like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you look at these celebrities that made their endorsements, right? We know who they are. It's that usual J-Lo, Beyonce, Oprah, Eminem, Cardi B, Billie Eilish. I mean, the usual suspects. Right. Taylor Swift, we all know, didn't work, right? But when Harrison Ford, dude, what were you doing? You're not even relevant. Like, who cares? And it kind of ruins, like, I'm not interested in his movies anymore. Like, going back and even watching him to think that they're out of touch. So, but when Arnold Schwarzenegger gave that endorsement the final week, I'm going, something's up. This makes no sense.
Right.
Like, I mean, your mind starts going, does he have something to hide? Right. I mean, why else would someone like him put his name behind an endorsement for such a clown? Right. Or to think that is going to make this country better. It seems self-serving.
So you feel like I think I feel the same way as you. But do you say you feel like when people gave certain endorsements, like Harrison Ford, it's like I don't want to watch his movies anymore?
I think a lot of people think that way.
Tell you something really bothered me is Will Ferrell. I always kind of liked Will Ferrell and all that. I could honestly, if I could care less about Will Ferrell. I just think the way he was a huge Kamala. He did commercials. He did. He went on that tour with his neighbor who was a transgender, but
his own producer.
Not that that's bad, but the whole thing is with producer Adam McKay. You mean?
Well, no,
they're all pretty much anti-Trump, but for what reason? Don't they? I don't get it.
Well, Will Ferrell was completely over the top with his endorsement. He was basically saying, "We're coming for you if you don't vote for Kamala Harris." I mean, really? I mean, you automatically know you're going to alienate half your fan base. Why do that?
Well, yeah, I'm out. But the whole thing is, it's. We found out one thing for sure. Celebrity endorsement means nothing. Your phone is the endorsement. You're going on Twitter to find out the real thing. Who cares about the Cardi B, the Beyonce, the Jennifer Lopez crying? It's nobody cared.
Yeah, celebrity endorsements are done. Who's undecided in the last couple of weeks anyway? You're not. Right. I think Taylor Swift moved the needle a little bit as far as getting registrations. Like with younger kids, she could maybe get them. She sent the link out so she could get people registered. But really, I mean, we taking any advice from these people?
And Kathy Griffith, who cares? She's saying that she blames part of it on Taylor Swift by not performing in Pennsylvania for her. Who cares? And
I've said for the last 4 years that I just felt there was a tipping point, and at some point, sanity would prevail. I believed that if they could take an inch, they took a mile, and they just kept going and going with their radicalness. And it was just, none of it made sense. And I'm thinking, average Americans, normal people are going to say enough, because the economy, the cost of groceries, that's one thing. But what they're teaching in schools, when you understand the amount of government waste there is, and just how can you not just be scared about this border issue? I mean, imagine if that continued another 4 years.
Obviously, they're planning it to get to the votes to make certain things all Democratic. Trump Jr., he was so busy with everything with the election going on, and obviously going with his father in all these different cities, that he just put out a tweet that he said, "Hey, I've been so busy. Can anybody just forward me all the memes? Because I missed them. I want to laugh all night." Tom, the memes that they have, I just think our side, or whatever, if you want to pick a side, we're so brilliant because it was sort of like MAGA and then MAHA, make it healthy. I just said they should have MAFA, which is Make America Fun Again. The tweets were brilliant of the Trump in a dumpster picking up Kamala and dumping her and then kicking him out of the White House. There's stuff that is so creative with the cat and the squirrel that was a bad. Believe it or not, that was a bad move that the FBI walked in and the guy who owned a squirrel. How do you take side? You just, and it's just like Trump with a squirrel fighting for Trump. No. It's like this. Our side was funnier. The Babylon Bee had the best headlines. It was like it was no comparison. And her going on Saturday Night Live, no one cared that she was on Saturday Night Live. And then the equal time for Trump they didn't give him. So I think that's a huge gaffe by Lorne Michaels. By picking
but again, like Kamala Harris, who has no personality, she's not funny, she has no charisma, she's grating. You don't even like to listen to her talk at all. I mean, her going on Saturday Night Live was actually probably doing some people a favor because you just see what we're dealing with here, and the decisions that campaign made. It's just odd, right? Especially having all those resources and all that money, and all they could do is the Nazi, you're a fascist, right? Just all that stuff.
A friend of mine told me, he goes, a definition of charisma. What is the definition of charisma? Charisma is that indescribable something that woman with big tits have.
Hey, what do you think? You get Oprah, you got Jimmy Kimmel.
What do you think of the Kimmel crying? I mean,
he's pathetic. It's just he's so pathetic.
I think what happened with talk show hosts that there's no comedy anymore. They became this they're talking heads themselves. So they had their audience. Their audience, obviously. How can you watch something that they're, like you said, you alienate half your audience? The Kimmel thing, not funny. Seth Meyers, not funny. Steve Colbert, not funny. It's just they're not funny.
They're not funny. But what flipped the switch for these guys? Because
they used to like them.
Because Kimmel used to be friends with him. Oprah used to be the rumor was back in the day, if he was going to run for president, she was going to be the VP, right? In the 80s. What is it? I have my theories because they're obsessed with their hatred towards him. And then they're incapable of looking at anyone as a human if they support Trump. You're a non-human to these people.
They used to love him on The View. Yeah. It all changed on that. Yeah. And I wonder, I'm going to go in for the reasons of why you think they hate him and all that. But do you think that Reagan, because he was an actor, that he went through the same stuff? Obviously not as big because there wasn't social media. But do you think people went, Ronald Reagan's running for president? The guy's an actor.
Yeah, people did that.
It's the same.
But there wasn't the hatred or the vitriol like it is now. But he wasn't even a huge star, Ronald Reagan. It wasn't like he was a big movie star. Right, he was a successful actor. Right. Then he was the governor of California.
Possibly I think it's because he has such a large ego. Yeah. I think Trump has this ego, and people, even though they liked him at that time when he ran for president, it's like this, his ego's gotten too big. I can't like him anymore.
I think a guy like Kimmel, I think he's radicalized. I think it's his wife. I think she embedded into him this hatred. And then it's probably all they ever talk about. Right. And then they only hang around people that agree with them.
Carolla's a smart one, right? It used to be on the Man Show, Carolla and Kimmel. Yeah. And then Carolla is kind of stuck, I think he thinks more sane. My opinion, I think he's much more sane.
They just all live in that same echo chamber. And they get satisfaction out of just sharing these same crazy ideas about how bad Trump is, the disaster that he's going to cause. How he's going to, I love when they talk about how he was going to ruin democracy.
Right.
Is that the same thing as saving it? Because I think that's what he did.
Well, I think, how do you be a celebrity? How do you do things like this and put down that Rob Reiner's going to set himself on fire if he's elected? Cher's going to shoot herself. Bette Midler's going to drink bleach and all that. And I said, this would be a great pay-per-view. I would pay big time if they actually do it.
Could you imagine a Saturday night? Netflix could do it. Maybe a couple of weeks after the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. I'd buy it.
So how do you get out? What do you think about people that say they're going to move or do these crazy things? Because when they say it, they want you to think they mean it. Do you think anybody's going to actually move out?
Of course not. Tom Hanks said he would move out of the country.
I really hope that
you know what Trump
pieces of.
He's such
move out.
How funny would it be if he just sent moving vans to their houses?
Oh, that's a brilliant
full tank of gas.
But I think that's kind of stuff that our side, would be done. Like, all right, move.
Hey, maybe comedy will return now. I mean, look at Adam Sandler's, he's coming back with Happy Gilmore, and he said he's sick of woke movies. They've brainwashed people, and they've inflicted this fear on people where you could be canceled. Bad things can happen if you don't toe the line of these nut jobs.
Done. No,
University, same thing. I heard one of the big things he might do is tax endowments at major universities too, because you got a Harvard University, a $60 billion endowment fund, right?
What's really sickening is certain places that they close classes down because people were emotionally upset. What kind of raising of a kid is that? How do you raise a kid? Is that there's no strength? How do you got to be emotionally upset because your person didn't get picked and they closed the school down? They did that in Harvard. They've done it in. Just go on Twitter. You can see everything of people that can't cope with it. It's because of they're weak. They're not disciplined, and it's because of how they're raised and all the teachers that became at that era of socialist. And they get your kid and they brainwash them. I think, Tom, we're going to be in a golden era for many, many years. It's going to be totally different. Great economy. America will actually be great again. And people are going to the people that were on her side don't know what it's like, and maybe they'll be changed, because I see so many people that would be on X saying, "I hated Trump. I had Trump derangement syndrome. I don't anymore. I see clearly now." People were brainwashed by certain things, and it's just going to be it's great.
I think the most important person going forward, or one of the most important persons, is going to be Elon Musk, and he's another guy that's in tremendous danger. I think every day. I can't even imagine the security detail he must have now. I mean, literally, his life is in danger because of what he knows, what he's uncovered. When they start peeling back onions, and we find out, these hundreds of billions going to Ukraine. Money laundering, basically.
And I don't know. Have you seen the pictures that it's circulating on X where there's just Elon Musk out on the street? It's him with a gun at him. I mean, this is...
No, I didn't see that.
I agree with you. I think they want to take out Musk is huge. Musk was even on the phone call to Zelensky with Trump. I mean, they're pretty tight. And he's sort of... what's going around is that he's become family to them, which I think is great, because do you want the guy that was SpaceX? Do you want the guy with Tesla? Do you want the guy with this incredible brain? Don't you want him on your team? The funny thing, Joe Rogan was another MVP, I think. And Joe Rogan, he was a Democrat. And the Democrats are saying now on TV, we need a female Joe Rogan. They had Joe Rogan the whole time. He was in their corner. They alienated him.
Yeah, you can't make one in a laboratory. I mean,
right. They wanted to have someone that could have that power. And everything, I think before the election happened, I just saw, while you and I were doing our show, I kept seeing certain things where the stars are aligning of how it's going to go this way. And when Trump did the podcast for 3 hours, it's sort of, it made the final sort of nail in the coffin that's on our side, because he destroyed him. And then J.D. Vance did that, and people said, I like this J.D. Vance guy. He was so huge in it. And with Trump doing a speech going, I think I made the right pick. You got a guy like a Pence.
I know.
And they got walls on their side.
He was a stud. JD is just an absolute stud.
He's going to always be a stud.
To me, the pivotal moment was when he survived the assassination attempt. To think, I believe God saved him. I really do. I mean, why else would he have turned his head? And the fact that he could so easily have been dead. But then I was still nervous all the way to the very end. I really was. I was just waiting for something to happen in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan. I was just waiting.
Everybody's
Here
watching
we go again.
You're watching it that way too, right?
Yeah.
You're watching. It's like it says live on your TV. You're going, is something going to happen?
Yeah.
Because he's talking out. He's in huge crowds, and he didn't have the bulletproof glass with him or anything. It's just, like you said, it's sort of those where were you moments. And I thought, the moment I was on the couch with my wife, and we had a buddy over who was so into betting markets of going, this is what's going to happen.
So you were talking about election night?
Yeah. And then she started crying when she saw at the Mar-a-Lago of everybody coming up on stage, and she said, like, she's from China. She goes, She goes, I really think America is going to be great. And she goes, I can't believe this moment's happening. She starts bawling. And I was like, wow, this is, if she's doing it, I wonder how many other people are probably doing that.
Right. I mean, she's already lived in 2 communist countries, and now she could live in a free one, which is nice.
Right. She said that many times. She goes, America is becoming, she goes, I know what it's like. It's becoming with Harris and Walls of what it's becoming. And then she was just a sigh of relief. And it was, I mean, the guy did over 900 rallies. He calculated. This guy loves the country.
Who do you think the ultimate puppet master is? Who is calling the shots? Is it Obama, essentially, and his team?
He's one of them. I think he's right. It's a team. It's got to be dismantled. I think this dismantling is done. I think Pelosi's done. Obama's done. Michelle Obama's done. And it's just so happy.
What about Newsom? Do you think he's done?
Yeah.
Like he's done as a presidential candidate? Because he's even more radical than she is.
He's done. It's done. I think they've got to come up with a game plan. I don't think they have to worry about it because I think it's not going to be the next 4 years, the next 4 years, the next 4 years. And if things keep going great, they have to come up with a plan. They can't be woke.
Here's the things I'm excited about. Drilling oil here.
Yeah.
And watching the cost of gas go down immediately.
But gas will go down in groceries because of that.
Of course.
Everything will go down because of that.
The fact that we have all these oil reserves here, or this untapped oil in our own country, and we're running away from it and buying it from all over the world, and then shutting down the border. I guarantee the military will be there, the second day, the first day. He's going to send the military, I'm sure.
All the way.
And then what about, he's also talked about putting National Guards in a lot of these woke cities like LA where crime's out of control. I could see that happening. I totally could.
Hochman will help him with that. I think he wants to lower crime. I think you got to get rid of guys like Mark Milley. He's they talk about, he's not even a war guy. He's a business guy with being a, in the war, what is he, a 4-star? I don't, whatever it is. Get rid of him. The intel officers, the 51. It was all a plan to get rid of Trump. It was all propaganda. Nothing was real. Russian hoax. The laptop. It was just amazing what they did to destroy this guy, and saying 34 felony accounts, and he's, like I said, this guy is just bulletproof.
Where do you think the media goes from here? Because they've been exposed. People that are in the know, or if you're I worked in the media for a very, very long time. I could see the decline, and anybody that's, dialed in or informed knows they're a joke. They're an evil joke. I mean, they're corrupt. It's bad. I mean, it's propaganda. That's all it is.
Yeah.
What happens? Because they're not going to go away. I can't wait for press conferences again with Trump. He'll have a great press secretary. I wonder who that's going to be. But he is not going to take any crap because
they're not going to take any. He's not going to allow him to take any kind of crap. Here's an idea. You know how the press, when they have that Jean-Pierre, whoever, and they have the people in the front row that are all pro Biden, all very left. I say that he moves those people in the back now, and the people in the front, the people that have been in the back, get to the front now. The people that Peter Ducey obviously was great with this stuff, but have people that are not anti-Trump and have them in back, and then let them see how it feels and have a new crop. He can it's his press conference. Let him decide.
Those guys come up front because they're with the elite news outlets, right?
Yeah,
you get the ABC, New York Times, Washington Post,
are they elite
CNN.
Anymore,
Not at all. Not at all.
Done.
No, there'll be a new seating chart there. No question about it.
Number one is X is the number one news source now. It's beat CNN, MSN. It's even beat Fox. It's the number one source is on your phone to get the real story.
I just hope we just don't even hear the word woke again. I have a friend who very qualified in what he does, and he applied for a job at LA 28. Okay, the Olympics, the Summer Olympics coming to LA in 28. He said, got a face-to-face. He had 2 or 3 interviews. He said all they talked about was woke issues. They asked him, and it probably cost. Actually, he told me how he answered the question. I thought it was just fine. The first question is, there was a gay pride parade last week, and a lot of our office emptied out to go march in it. How do you feel about that? So it's almost like trapping him, right? And he said, hey, as long as they get the work done, I support these people, as long as, the work doesn't suffer or things like that, and it's allowed, and he didn't get the job. And it was really for that reason. They also told him his zip code wasn't inclusive enough. So that's just, this whole thing is permeated in here, DEI, and so much of it is just going to be gone. What a waste of money too with these DEI programs.
But I think that's going to be gone though. I don't think that in 2028 with the Trump, I think the woke's gone. The parades, I think, is going to somewhat gone, but the Olympics will not have that feel like they did in Paris. No possible way. I think it's just going to be a different America. And it's going to be so great that Trump will be at the Olympics in 2028.
God, the only thing that could be better is if the Packers make it to the Super Bowl this year, right?
Not going to happen, I don't think.
I don't think so.
No, you never know. You never know. You never know, but yeah, only I say you never know because injuries could happen to other people, other teams.
Boy, just when you didn't think your life could get more perfect. After this, everything that's happened politically, now with the Packers, boy, Cato, you just have to
Do you know what? If you asked me, Cato, would you rather have a Packer Super Bowl win or a Trump win? 100% Trump.
Of course. Don't be selfish. Don't ruin it for all of us.
No, nothing. Because, like you said, there's just a different feel here, even in LA, which is liberal. Just a different feel. And I've got that little spring in my step, and I'm going. And another thing is your daughter's at Boston College. They cut to so many different colleges of people all cranking YMCA, and they showed all the young. And you kind of felt like I just felt like it's a great change that they were young and they just got it. And I think Charlie Kirk had a lot to do with that. Jack Wasiebek, Charlie Kirk, Tyler Bauer. I'm forgetting the name because that the Turning Point USA makes the biggest difference to educate people. He confronts, he answers, and it's the guy you don't want to debate. Is him or Tucker Carlson because they're completely honest and they're smart.
Yeah, they're true patriots. Yeah, Kirk was amazing. We already talked about him. I love the videos that were going around too that just shows the military power, just everything that makes America great. You got the rock and music. I mean, it's just, you literally feel like we're back, baby. We're back.
We're back, baby.
All right. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
Yep.
Election-wise?
2028. We'll see who we vote for.
Let's enjoy this one for a little while.
Yeah.
Let's try to make it to 2025.
I just hope that I'll tell you what, I do have a thought. I just hope that they let him, like in the first time he was elected, they don't have any kind of hoaxes. They let him get it done. They don't put him, try to impeach him, nothing. Just let him work. He'll make it great. Believe it. And I think, he's got the right team and it's going to be great.
Here, I got one last question for you because you've been in Hollywood for a very long time. Take a lot of meetings, pitching projects, been in a lot of shows. Will you be shy about letting people know how you feel? Because you walk into a lot of these meetings and they automatically assume everybody thinks the same and that you should be sad because they're sad or you know what I mean? Yeah. Will you feel more free? Not that you have to broadcast it or tell anybody, but are you okay to show pride in the fact that, hey, I'm allowed to have my own beliefs and it happens to be different than yours, but that doesn't mean I can't have this job or I can't sell this show?
Well, I think because of X that only this year is when I really went balls out. I think they probably would know. They see it because I see some of the reaction of studio people that I've followed and unfollowed. But now I don't care. And there is an invisible Hollywood no one knows. And it's stronger than people think. There's a lot of support for Trump. And I think it's just going to grow and get bigger and bigger. So no way would I be ashamed if it's a meritocracy. You hire someone on merit, I hope. So I hope I'd have the merit in getting it because I just did some pitches and we'll see. It was never brought up, but it shouldn't be brought up.
The thing that I noticed too is everything about Trump and his campaign and his message is positive. It's uplifting. It's power. It's being prideful of the fact that we have a great country. There's just no appreciation on that for a lot of people that were Kamala Harris supporters. Right. I mean, they just wallow in their misery. Everybody's a victim. Anybody that achieves anything had an unfair advantage. They should be punished and brought down. That's the best thing about him being back is you can take pride in the fact that you can do anything you want in this country. Anything's possible if you put the work in, and no one's going to be held back because of anything else. And it's just a true feeling of pride and not being afraid to say that we're the best.
I'm going to say one more thing, and that is to put someone on the spot because I don't know the person's political views. We have Zeus who's younger than us, a lot younger than me, maybe not you. But Zeus is, in the back here. And I always wondered, I don't know your views. you're younger, but I don't know anybody that doesn't want lower prices in groceries. I don't know anybody that doesn't want safe borders. I don't know anybody that would not want what's best for the country. Zeus, what's your vibe?
Give it up, Zeus.
What do you think?
What's up, guys? Zeus here, video producer at West Coast Creative Studio.
Way to drop that in there. Good job. Good plug.
I think this is great. I want to pay less for groceries. I want to pay less for everything. I want the economy to get better. And I just want America to be great. And it already feels good. I'm into crypto. I love investing in stocks. And I already see a big difference in that. So that for me is great. So I'm forward
Hey,
for
Zeus,
this.
as a single guy here in LA, is it hard to get a date if you're a conservative?
Oh my God, that's a
Do
whole,
women care? What's more important, who you vote for or what you drive?
For women,
Yeah.
I think it's for what you drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many people that really couldn't up until now admit what their true feelings. I have so many friends here that used to be Democrats and hardcore, and now common sense has kicked in. None of this was rational, and they flipped.
Do you think people that are in Hollywood, we see so many Teslas? Do you think people look at Tesla and go, that guy's
No, I don't think people think about that
sure,
at all. Yeah, not with a Tesla.
I think more people are liberal who drives Teslas.
I'm not sure. People that like to drive fast definitely drive them.
Yeah. Well, gas prices.
Hey guys, so what do you guys think of Trump going on all these different podcasts? Do you think that had a huge impact?
I do. I think it did.
I think Tom said it, but the MVP was Barron. Barron got him the right podcast to go on, and Barron with his friends, they're in that range of, Dad, you can get the young vote, go on this one. They nailed it. It's the exact ones that he should have done too.
Yeah, and Barron's smart. He's really plugged in. He knows, and he's got relationships with all those guys that run Rogan, PBD, Nelk. He knows them.
Theo Vaughn,
and he was so smart and you know what? He had a strategy behind it. He tells his dad why, and this is your audience, and this is who they cater to, and this is how it can make a difference.
Right.
And it did. It did.
Huge difference. Well, God bless America, Tom.
I love it.
I think that the news is going to be podcasts. The future of media news is going to be podcasts. People like yourselves that are talking about real stuff and that we can trust. So I think podcasts are the new news.
I'm with you, Zeus.
No, I believe it completely. I've been hearing that from other things. Doing podcast is what's going to change everything. The CNNs, the MSNBCs, they're done.
Yeah, people that are anchors, they're miserable. People that are reporters, a lot of them are miserable.
They can't think, they can't have their own view.
They're not allowed to do anything but toe the company policy and spew out propaganda. B, it's not a fun job anymore. C, you're not respected. People don't look at you and take you serious. You're kind of a joke almost. Like I would not want to be a local news reporter anymore, or especially like a news anchor for a cable network. And back in the day, it was different. But yeah, the world's changing in a good way, and that's why
sports and weather. That's what we should do.
I think Elon was right, man. I think he was right. Most important election in American history.
Right. I think that hit people. I think people thought this is the most important election in your lifetime. It's going to change things, and it went in the right way that it should have gone.
Well, I'll tell you what, Zeus, bring your dates over here. They'll be impressed. Show them around here. You never know how that night might end. You got a couch over here. Right?
Yeah, and you bring them a bottle of water.
One last question for you guys. Who do you think will be part of Trump's cabinet?
The usual suspects. I mean, Vivek's going to be in there 100%. RFK's going to...
Vivek, I think Tulsi Gabbard, and maybe Carrie Lake if she's not on there.
I know he's not going to have a Department of Education anymore. That cabinet's not cabinet member's not going to be needed. He's going to have smart people, number one, and they're having 4 years of experience, which he had, is going to make all the difference in the world because things were happening so fast. When he became president last time, he was new at this. He wasn't even a politician. So he was listening to advice, getting bad advice. He's going to trust his gut and his instinct, and he's not going to give a damn.
Yep.
He's going to put the right people in the right places and boot.
And he's got the great team of lawyers that are with him. So it's going to be great. And you know what? We got the Supreme Court, and we'll see what goes on with there. So it's going to be a great... Well, I know the next 4 years are going to be phenomenal. Just stay alive. Godspeed.
I got one more thing.
Okay.
A few of my MVPs were Dana White. I think he was a huge
that's a good
role
call
in this one. And I think the Nelk boys. Trump was on his their podcast, and I think they have a huge following, especially the young demographic. So I think they had a huge role in this. So I think the Nelk boys. Dana White, man, I feel like he might even be part of the cabinet. I don't know.
He doesn't have time to do that. He's
doesn't, no.
unbelievable. Dana
Yeah,
White
it'd
was
be a pay cut, be a
unbelievable.
pay cut.
I watched him on Dr. Phil. He was on Dr. Phil like right before. Did you see that? Right
I
before
saw
the
that.
election. It was so good.
Yeah.
Just him talking about his life story, how important this election was, and just his spirit of not giving a damn is just infectious. And he's been like that since COVID. Well, he's been like that probably his whole life. But he's going to do things his way, use common sense, and
Yeah.
kick ass. And that's what he does. And now his beliefs have been validated and on such a a high level.
Now, when the show airs and all that, but I'm going to just put in perspective of how incredible it already has been. So this has gone by, but you know that in just 2 days that have happened already, in 2 days, this is what happened. Stock market has already hit record highs. Migrant caravan at the border dissolves. Hamas calls for end of the war. Bitcoin hits record high. Putin ready to end Ukraine war. Qatar kicks out Hamas leaders. EU buys U.S. gas, not Russian gas. There's more, Tom. Putin will sell oil in U.S. dollars. Zelensky phones Trump and Elon. New York City mayor ends vouchers for illegals. Mexico to stop migrants at U.S. border. China wants to work peacefully with big U.S. companies to move out of China. Okay, I'm telling you, this is great. We got to get rid of Christopher Wray, too.
Hey, love him or hate him, he's the most important person in the world, probably one of the most important people that have ever walked on the face of the earth. And
Better.
if you think you hate him, he's going to make your life better. And that's the bottom line.
Yep.
More safe, more secure, more prosperous, everything that he promised he was going to do. Just wake up and understand that.
And don't
because
hate
it's
us
true.
for saying our views. That's everybody's got a view. Don't hate.
You can't hate Cato Kalin.
Don't hate. Congratulate.
That's impossible. You love Cato Kalin. Zeus, great job, man.
Thank you.
Way to put us on the spot with those questions. I'll come up with my cabinet member's answer next time. All right? Good, guys. Good seeing you. I'm glad we're back. All right, man. USA, this is awesome. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Listen to us. Follow us on social media. You know where to find us. And for the one and only Cato Kalin, Zeus in the house. I'm Tom Zenner. Thanks for watching, everybody.